Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bandit's homestead, and good morning. At least, it's morning for me. I woke up recently. I've been wanting to talk about this for the last month, but I wanted to garner plenty of experience before talking about it extensively. And garner I did. I've spent almost all of my free time for the last month on this subject, diving into getting experience, and boy, has it been a pain in the ass. It's been pretty annoying, and I've had to treat each day like a brand new day so that I just don't become angry. And let me preface this by talking about you. Most of you that are watching this video, I think, are returning because you want to check up on me and see how I'm doing, which I appreciate. It's nice to be cared about and have people interested in what's going on with me. I like it. But because of that, that means that a lot of you are OGs, and some of you might remember this. You know, my last channel that got banned, got taken down. There was a point where I was drinking. It's been a while. Next month I'll hit 6 years sober from alcohol and clean. And so that was like 7 years ago that I was doing all of that. Something like that. There's one video in particular that stands out in my mind. It pops up. More specifically, one of the comments somebody left on that video keeps coming up. The first time I read that comment, I was pissed off. And it was that kind of like, it's that kind of pissed off where it makes you stop and think, well, I better question the legitimacy of this claim. Because there's a reason that I had that reaction, and I don't think it's because it's just to the core not true. From here, this is where I'm going to go. Check this out. All right. Right there. That's my land. That's my forest. That goes back a few hundred feet or so. All right. That's my land. It goes back there. It's, the woods I can walk around in and stuff. There's mushrooms back there and blackberry bushes, blueberry bushes, black cherry trees. There's a turkey tail that I can grab off of dead wood and make tea out of. All kinds of stuff. They're all organisms. There's all kinds of bugs and squirrels, birds, all kinds of stuff back there. Now, all these organisms. I'm an organism. The thing is, every organism has two very foundational biological imperatives. One of them is survival. Even the non-sentient organisms have this biological imperative. It governs their processes that are happening inside of the organism. Everything is doing its best to survive. That's what allows the species to exist. The other one also allows the species to exist. This is the foundational block that allows for a species to be successful. The other one is reproduction. Those are the two biological imperatives that are the main building block for a species to be successful. Individual members of the species wanting to survive and individual members of the species trying to reproduce. I'm an organism, unfortunately. And so that comment back in the day was accusing me of having the male version of baby rabies. And For anybody that doesn't know, I'll tell you, baby rabies is where a chick gets to around my age, what I am currently, not what I was back then. What I am currently, mid 30s, and they haven't had kids yet, and they, I think mostly subconsciously, but maybe also consciously, realize that they're running out of time for reproduction, and some of them go pretty wild with it and do some crazy things like poking holes in condoms or pulling condoms out of the trash and stuffing it inside out inside of themselves, stuff like that. And I've heard stories like that. So I've been thinking about that, and I'm like, in that video, I was improperly identifying what I was feeling. I was said, "Oh, I'm lonely." I'm not really lonely. I do fine by myself. Uh, I said some other stuff that's not true. I was just having trouble identifying this. At the core of this, it's I want to reproduce because that is a biological imperative programmed in me, and I believe that I may have a stronger drive for it than other individuals, especially considering my libido is so through the roof, sky high. I was talking to somebody the other day about that. I was like, "Oh yeah, I mean, I have had instances where I got it on with somebody over 20 times in a weekend and still wanted more throughout the next week." And he was like, "Dude, I would be dead to the world. I might not even show up to work. I would be so tired." And I'm just like, "Well, uh I wish that was my standard all the time. Because that would be nice." Just with one individual, like I'm monogamous. Anyway, past that shit. The thing is, I realize that at the very core of this, that's what it is. And I know that sounds cold and mechanical and calculated, like just to reproduce. You're fine with everything else. It's like, well, because of the nature of human reproduction, I mean, fuck, dude. I would make a great partner. I was very proud of myself for my performance in my last relationship. I can be very supportive. I'm very loving and all of this stuff. So that'll also come with it. It's not just like, reproduce and get out and whatever. That's not what it's about. I know a lot of you are probably like, "Oh hell, this guy's lost his damn mind again." I've been thinking about this a lot. I talked with somebody who's probably going to watch this video about this. I talked with him a bit about this subject, and he said, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure, everybody has that desire deep down. Just some are better at hiding it than others or storing it away." Well, for me, it's like I would have to become, for me personally, I would have to become a person I don't want to become in order to keep holding this back. So I feel like I've got to at least, give it a good try. And included in the giving it a good try is extensively vetting individuals. So I've talked to a lot of women. Now, of course, I'm only in like the top 20% in across the board in multiple metrics of men. So, you know, I'm for whatever fucking reason. For whatever fucking reason, that's often considered average or below average, which doesn't make any statistical sense whatsoever. But so I've dealt with countless rejections, but um those who don't reject me, I mean, I've had to ultimately write off as options because they'll just go sideways on some things, or they will tell on themselves about other things. Like, I'm not going to deal with infidelity. I'm just not. It's not going to be a factor I'm willing to accept in my life because I don't do that. And so I expect somebody I end up with to be able to control themselves. I don't know why self-control has become such a big issue, especially with the opposite sex. It's like a problem. Like, how dare you? How dare you demand that I control myself and my behavior? Well, so you expect to like be able to act like a wild animal and a savage? I don't understand. Like why would you want to live a depraved, meaningless life like that where you just chase after hedonism until you're too old to do so and then you're all alone? I don't get it. It's no concept of the future, I suppose. So I've never got that. Um, so I have filtered through so many individuals, and you guys know my lifestyle is very specific, and so I've exhausted just about every individual that has my specific lifestyle within 350 miles of myself. So I've gone international with that search. I've gone international just overall, I guess, because I've ruled so many individuals out that didn't reject me. And it's tough, man. I've spent so much time. Then along the way, there was also this temptation because somebody popped up when I installed. Look at these fucking apps, dude. I have so many apps. I'm surprised they're not blowing up. I have so many apps for because nobody uses their cell phone like a normal person anymore, I guess. Or chicks don't specifically. I don't know about guys, but I wasn't able to talk to most of these chicks, and this was the bulk of my rejections, I think, starting out with this, because it was alien to me, and I thought it was the stupidest shit ever. I still do, but I decided to go ahead and conform because it was the only way I could maintain contact with the vast majority of women who didn't reject me. So I installed all these apps for the sake of interfacing with these women because I guess they don't realize you can use your cell phone or something. I don't know what the deal is, but I have WhatsApp, Snapchat, Signal, Instagram, Kick, Telegram, and Facebook Messenger because they don't realize you can text on a cell phone, or they don't. I don't know. They don't realize you can block numbers on your cell phone. I don't know what the deal is. But, it's crazy. They're not comfortable sharing their phone number, but they are comfortable sharing what their house looks like, where they work, who their friends are, what their family looks like, even what children in their family look like, all over the internet publicly. But they're not comfortable sharing their phone number. It's the strangest thing. It's like, okay, I know where you live, I know where you work, I can see your schedule, I can see where you're hanging out on weekends, I can see every detail about your life. If I was a stalker, I wouldn't even need to talk to you. Like, I don't get what the hang up is with sharing a phone number. It's the oddest thing. So I've got all these apps all over my phone, and it makes it hard to even like find other apps that I want to use. But that's all for the sake of being able to interface. It's the strangest thing. It's like you post every detail about your life, which makes it so easy for creep weirdos to find you. And how many creep weirdos have found you? Probably none. I'd guess chances are probably none follow you around. But you're afraid to give out your phone number, even though every single personal detail about you is public knowledge. That's the strangest thing. So, talking with these chicks on these apps, I forget what got me off on that tangent. That was the first annoying thing that I've been dealing with this is like keeping all the apps straight. Like, yeah, I'll be talking with them on one of those apps, and red flags pop up. That's one good thing about all of my horrible experiences in the past with women is like red flags are pretty easy for me to spot now. And it's a hot mess out there, man. It is a hot mess. They'll lose their damn mind. They'll declare me the one and have this like 10-year plot of how our lives are going to go together now. And it's like, I've known you for a week. And I'm sorry, but quitting my career and not having a family with you, that's not really my plan. I look at my profile, like I want to have a family. Like, why would I want to like become a millionaire and just spend the rest of our lives partying with you instead of having a family when the primary thing I want is to have kids, right? So I'm like, hell no, hell no, no. Like, oh, you seem all right. Let's talk to you, and then the demons come out, and it's like, what the hell happened? What the fuck happened? Like, I thought that we were like one another's like ideal match, and then you just fly out like a demon at me one morning. Like, okay, that's not gonna work. And so throughout this, I started to fall to temptation. Oh yeah, this is what I was saying. Because I installed one of these damn apps, and somebody I know hit me up, and she has routinely like made it known she likes me in a certain way. Well, I was like, you know what? I'll buy you a plane ticket. If you want to do those things to me, I'll buy you a plane ticket, and you can come out here and do all of those things to me. That sounds like a lot of fun. Sure. A few weeks prior to that, I got a hooker for $225. Hookers are expensive nowadays. I looked into plane tickets for this girl, and it was $225. And I'm like, huh, would you look at that? Now, watching Taylor the Fiend, I hear about all of these chads that fly girls out and have fun with them for a weekend and fly them back. And I'm like, this is why. This must be why. Because chicks love this whole airplane thing. Because it seems like you're fucking rich, right? Just wantonly buying chicks plane tickets so that they can come meet you when it costs as much as 1 hour with a hooker. And then you get this girl for a whole weekend who actually is into you. So it's potentially a lot more fun, and it's a lot longer time of fun than a hooker for the same price. And so essentially, these girls are, trading their bodies for what's cheaper than a hooker, really. So I was like, okay, well, the ones that go a little nuts or just are not options I'm considering, or they explicitly say that that's what they want to do is hook up, I'll offer them plane tickets. Well, I started doing that, but each individual that I've offered that ends up just having so many personal issues that I start becoming uncomfortable with them even coming over here for a bit of bedroom fun on the weekend. And I end up retracting my offer because I'm just like, holy hell, how could you do this to yourself? And I don't really want to even like be anywhere near it. And I'm like, fuck, dude. So I can't even like get myself to get laid. So then I was like, I started looking internationally. And there's this individual I have a video chat with on Tuesday. The only thing is disclosure. I'm a little bit stressed out about it because I haven't yet been rejected by a chick for this, which is different from it's different from what I've read on the subreddit about this. For most guys seem to get rejected every single time. And I'm very much worried because this woman is very special. And she seems very special, like could very well work out. And the thing is, yeah, I haven't been rejected on the basis of this yet, but I've read most men routinely get rejected over this. And it's that I'm HSV positive. HSV, not HIV. Okay. So you know. So I have herpes simplex virus 1 and 2. And that's my concern this coming Tuesday is that this chick that I've been talking to for a couple weeks now that's from overseas that just seems like such a sweetheart and is, you know, she seems perfect for the role. Really concerned that she'll reject me. But I mean, I have to disclose. That's one of my principles is before doing anything with anyone, before things get too far into it, I disclose. And so I'm gonna have to talk with her about that and accept the consequences of that discussion. So because I've been worried so much about that, I went ahead and got on this STD dating site. Because I was reading through the subreddit and somebody mentioned it, and I was like, oh, that's a bright idea. I didn't even think about that. So I got on this dating site, and there's a lot of girls that have the same thing I do. The only thing is that it's fairly common for them to reject me in favor of going and infecting somebody who looks better on paper just because they want them more. And I'm like, well, doesn't that just kind of defeat the whole purpose of this website? And that's the crazy thing is, that subreddit I was reading, most guys get routinely rejected for having what I have. But most chicks on there have absolutely no problem, especially if they say something about Jesus, you know. They have almost I've read one girl that has had like a 30% rejection rate. And all the other ones have like 100% acceptance rate pretty much. And so guys are just getting with these chicks that like swear all kinds of stuff up and down. They have herpes, then the guys get infected by the chick, and I'm sure those relationships probably often don't last. And then the guy's infected, and he probably ends up on that subreddit complaining about, oh, fuck, I didn't realize what I got myself into. I'm getting rejected by everybody now. For whatever reason, I'm not sure. I haven't really been hard rejected based on me having it, which is strange. And so I keep thinking like, something's got to give then. And and so I'm concerned about this chick. But the thing is, what's going to happen is going to happen. And it would be amazing if if I could move that chick out here. But, it's all up to her. Yeah, it's crazy. I thought chicks on that STD dating website would be like, more realizing that their pool is small, at least that it should be, but no, there's just they still shop outside of that and you know, in fact, I don't even know if some of them are disclosing. They go and infect people that they like more better than anybody on the STD site. So it's like, I don't even know why you're here anymore. So anybody that doesn't have that, I recommend using a lot of caution because if if you're a halfway decent dude, well, not even, because halfway decent guys get rejected all the time. Being average, actually average, you're gonna get rejected all the time. If you have things like really going for you that chicks go for, like there's a good chance you could run into a chick that I've talked to off of this website that is going to try to infect you to to it's almost like STDs are the new baby, right? Because a lot of chicks used to and maybe still do try to get pregnant from a guy they want to keep around. Well, it seems like some of these chicks try to infect guys with STDs to try to get them to stick around, which is fucked up. So I advise a lot of caution. So yeah, I would never be able to do that. I don't understand. Well, I understand it is a very deep selfishness. And man, if there's something you could call evil, that's one of the things for sure. It's like going out infecting people with STDs to try to get them to be chained to you just because they make a little bit more money than this other guy that has the STD that like it wouldn't affect him, right? Pretty fucked up. However, I did get a friend, I think, and she hasn't messaged me. I just want to hang out with somebody that has the same issue that I have, with all of this and like I already asked her advice on the chick from overseas about disclosing with her. And yeah, she was just like, make sure you really like her and she's worth telling. I think it's good to talk about the stats because the stats are about 20% of the world population has HSV2, which I have, and about 50% of the world population has HSV1, the oral. And 50% of the US has it. 50% across the globe has it. There's chicks on there. I don't know why. I don't know why they're even on there. Then that's all they have is that. And I told one of them, I'm like, aren't you aware that like 50% of the world has that STD? So like I don't understand why all you ladies are on here. She's like, oh well, it's just culturally unacceptable where I live, so it's like I feel the need to be on here to date other people who have it. I'm like, well, I don't know, man. At the point where it's 50%, it's a coin toss. You're gonna meet somebody with it in real life, right? I mean, I talk with my coworkers openly about that one. I do mention on the side that I have HSV2 as well, and some people just ask curious questions about it. It's not a huge fucking deal or social stigma really among peers, but it's something that causes me concern when I'm like genuinely interested in somebody and I think they would work out really well when I'm like, oh shit, I gotta disclose this. I gotta disclose it sooner than later. Because, like, I don't want to pay for her IMBRA paperwork before, so that she's not like, so that there's paperwork that make it not human trafficking for me to talk to her. But yeah, I don't want to pay that money for that paperwork and then, like, explore fiance visas and stuff with her before I disclose. And before she gets too attached to, I think um, at a certain point, I think it becomes immoral to not disclose, even if you're not about to become sexually active. I think, like, if you're talking to somebody overseas and you get them to spend 6 months of their life talking with you, and then you drop the disclosure, I think that's immoral too. So this is going to be our first video chat. We've been talking over email for a while, and I think the first video chat is probably the time to disclose it, I think. Because we're not like super attached to each other yet. I am. I don't think she is yet. But anyway, that's where I'm at. This has been a fucking pain in the ass. I tell you what. And I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm like, man, if this goes on for a whole lot longer the way it is, I'm probably just gonna end up getting fed up with it again. And, you know, because I may have biological imperatives, but my personal experiences have before uh, led me to be single for an extensive period of time, which was me going against that biological imperative just because of my horrible experiences. So if I continue to have this headache of a horrible experience with this subject, if I continue to experience this for an extended period of time, I'm probably gonna get completely turned off by it all over again. Because it's a hot mess, man. Like, it's almost like chicks talk about trauma, right? It is fucking traumatic almost to deal with some of this crazy fucking shit that I've been subjected to and witnessed from these chicks. It's such a mess. I don't know how somebody could make themselves such a mess. I'm a simple guy. Like, I go to work, I come home, I cook my dinner, I live on a nice homestead and I chill. And like I don't have all these weird fucking problems that almost every single individual I've talked to so far has. This overseas chick doesn't seem to be weighed down by any of that shit. She's like a normal person. And that's what's so attractive to me. And that's why I'm so worried about it. But these other chicks, I've just like been completely fine and not affected by having to block them. It's the shit that they do before that leads me to block them. It's like, holy fuck, man. Like, what a nightmare. I feel relief when I block them. When they fly off, when they jump in the, I don't know, I don't even know. I can't even put words to it. It's just crazy. And then I think, no wonder they're on these apps and sites. No wonder they're there because they are like this. And they won't do anything to work on themselves. They talk about that, right? I've been working on myself. I know my worth now. I don't think so. I don't think you've fucking given any thought to any of this at all. I don't think you have practiced introspection. Oh, man. One chick, what was it? She got fucking upset. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she mentioned to me that the relationship dynamic she wants between me and her is her being the queen and me being a knight. And I'm like, you're kidding, right? That's a bit much. No. That's not going to happen. And I told her, I was like, that would put you as my superior and me as your inferior. You being served by me all the time and not really the other way around, right? And she's like, yeah, but that's the way it's supposed to be. And I'm like, no, it's not. And she got fucking pissed. She was like, I can't believe this. And you claim to be a spiritual person. Like, you're a pagan. I thought you were supposed to be spiritual. And I'm like, spirituality has nothing to do with, like, whether or not I'm okay with being somebody's bitch. All right? I don't want to be somebody's bitch. I don't want to be your fucking ass paper to be used and discarded. All right? Like, I have self-respect. Like, that has nothing to do with whether or not I'm spiritual. I just have self-respect. And I'm not going to be your fucking welcome mat. And then she got pissed off about that, called me rude and aggressive and all of this stuff. I'm like, I think it's rude and aggressive for you to pretty much tell me you expect me to be your slave. I mean, I think that's pretty rude and aggressive. and for you to insinuate that you think you're superior to me and that you want this horribly uh horribly disproportionate like power dynamic in our relationship. That's fucked up. That is fucked up. 'Cause yeah, one of the things I told her and she got pissed off about was like, I want a relationship where we treat each other equally and like, we're a team. We might do different things in support of the relationship, but we are a synergistic team. And she thought that was just the most unreasonable and hateful thing to say. It's like, what the fuck, man? These chicks, man, they are batshit fucking crazy, and it's no wonder they're on these sites. And then it gets me thinking, well, why am I on this site? Well, I'm trying not to give myself too much credit, but the reason I'm on this site is because I really do the work that these chicks claim they're fucking doing. I have spent years in solitude working on myself and thinking about things. I really have, for the most part, kept out of other people's beds while I'm doing that work too, so that I don't compound the damage that has been done to me by others. And I have rectified, and I have spent many, many hours meditating and reflecting. Whereas I don't think any of those individuals actually have done any of that. And it's kind of annoying because that would make them posers compared to me. Because I've actually done that. And it would be really nice to find somebody who either hasn't had that damage done to them to rectify, or if they have, they've actually put in the fucking work like I have. But I don't know if you can fucking find that nowadays. Because people don't take shit fucking seriously. And they just say some pretty words that makes them feel good instead of actually doing the fucking actions. I'm on Discord. And, I have some very short things in my bio. One of them is an Icelandic chorus for a song. And the other one is just a statement that words are cheaper than actions. Because I see a bunch of fucking lip service around here about this and that. So many people talk about being this and that other good thing. And then I look at their actions and see what they expect out of life. And I'm like, wow, you're one of the most unrealistic, one of the most self-absorbed and hateful individuals that I've met in the last week. You're a piece of garbage. And you talk about, like, and you have nothing in this world that's worthwhile. You have nothing to bring to my life. And here you are talking, you have a couple paragraphs about how you have spent years working on yourself. It's like, well, I don't see any fruits of that labor. So maybe that labor didn't occur in the first place. Maybe you're just saying that. Maybe, like Taylor the Fiend says, you have worked on finding yourself in random strangers' beds for the last few years. And I think that's the case a lot of the time, which, just like I said, compounds the damage. It doesn't fix anything. Well, anyways, I have a bunch of messages I have to answer now in pursuit of uh, my second biological imperative. And so I will talk to you guys later. Peace out for real. I got some shopping to do. So I'm going to a cookout event tomorrow. So an all vegan one. So at the very least, I'm going to hang out with a bunch of old ladies. I think that's all that's going to show up. Is going to be me and a bunch of old vegan ladies at this cookout. I wanted to do some stuff. Just like I've been going to church every Sunday. I got invited, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep coming back as long as y'all say I'm still invited. I'm going to keep coming back every fucking Sunday to church. The first time I went, that was when I had fucked that hooker. I fucked a hooker, and then the next day I went to church, and I was like, hey, is it okay if I do that? And they're like, well, most people probably don't, but you're welcome to come back. I was like, all right. So, so yeah, um, I've been exploring ways to like keep myself busy anyway and enjoy life. And I can't wait for this cookout thing tomorrow. We're all cooking different entrees, sides, and desserts, and we're all going to get together and share our food. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it'll be great. So yeah, peace to you all, and enjoy your lives, and see you next time. Bye.